Hello and welcome back to State of Star Wars podcast. I'm your host, Wedge Antilles, and today I'm joined by
Jedi Master Daniel 96, this is the way.
And Captain Henson, this is the way.
Excellent. So today we're going to be talking about Mandalorian Season 2, Chapter 10. In this episode, we pick up right after Tatooine, and Mandalorian has to essentially find more Mandalorians because Timothy Oliphant ended up not being the Mandalorian he was looking for. And so, in order to find the Mandalorians, he has to first pick up a passenger and give her safe travel to her destination. On their way to the planet, they're met with New Republic forces, and a chase commences onto an ice planet where Mandalorian hides. However, his ship crashes down below the surface, and he has to repair it before they freeze to death. While repairing it, he has to look for the passenger who has mysteriously vanished, only to find her in a hot spring. And while he's getting her back, Baby Yoda disturbs some spiders. And while a giant chase and fight occurs with a mother spider and hundreds upon hundreds of smaller spiders. By the end of the episode, they're rescued by New Republic forces, the same ones that were chasing them, and then they're back on their way, except now that the Razor Crest is heavily damaged, and I believe it's the same damage that we've seen in the trailer. Anyway, so what did you guys think of the episode?
I thought it was enjoyable, and then I know some people think it's filler, but it's more just like a continuation of the story, but you could kind of say it's almost like a side quest in a way. But if you're watching this in one movie, let's say, you were watching this like the whole season as one movie, even though we don't know the rest of the season. Like this would be, a bit in a movie where, let's say, there's the struggle part where they're stranded and all that. That's pretty much what the episode feels like.
Yeah, it feels very much like when you read a novel, you see everything play out rather than just quick cut to this part. It's very much like we're seeing Mando's whole journey. There's nothing left to like imagination. Henson, what'd you think?
Well, first time I watched it, I was left disappointed because, going from a previous episode to this, getting the Boba Fett reveal at the end, really hoping we would just straight up continue on from that point, but that's not the case. And overall, I would say this episode, watching it a second time, I did enjoy it a lot better, a lot more. I think I just have to accept the fact that this series wants to have its cake and eat it too, of being episodic while also having a serialized story. And in my opinion, it doesn't work, because when you introduce something like, Boba Fett being alive, I'd much rather see that than whatever hijinks Mando and Baby Yoda get into, but that's just me. That's just something I have to keep in mind moving forward, that I'm just not going to get that right off the bat.
Yeah, because my hope with this season, I want to see a very straightforward story, because as I think like when you compare, like let's say with season 1, the first 3 episodes are kind of part of the main plot, as you describe, Henson. Then you have, like episodes 4, 5, and 6 in season 1 is very, like the side quests, and then 7 and 8 gets more to the purpose that people want Baby Yoda. And then that's what I felt like, that's what I'm hoping. I don't know, with the Boba Fett reveal, do you think they're kind of doing another setup thing? And now we're getting all this rumors that Boba Fett's going to have his own Disney Plus show.
I don't think it's that. I think they're going to try to set him up as a mid-season or even season finale like reveal.
I can see that.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think my issue is that, with Baby Yoda, we get his reveal in the first episode of the series, but then we haven't gotten we've gotten little tidbits of new info, but we really haven't continued that story of finding out more about him. And so then we get introduced to this Boba Fett plot line. So my worry is that we're not actually going to get any we're going to get barely any development on that plot.
Yeah, I want to see more. That's what I think. I wonder what with the next episode. Do you think the next episode's going to be the one where Sasha Banks' character appears?
Potentially.
I think so. That's what I was thinking this episode was going to be. What, like, going into it was the one where what Sasha Banks' character is going to be. And then I think the one Dave Filoni's directing is going to be the one with Ahsoka and Sabine.
No doubt.
Like, this episode was directed by Peyton Reed, the Ant-Man director.
Mm.
And then last episode was by Jon Favreau. It was directed by him. So that's what I'm thinking. I think whatever one... And I'm not sure which one's going to be the Robert Rodriguez episode.
I'm so excited for that one. Like, I've been rewatching his movies, and oh my god, I really want for those like quick cuts, the sped up movements. I think it's gonna be the best episodes in terms of like style.
I mean, honestly, you know what? With his episode, I just want him to do like everything, like he always does.
Do you think he would have Boba Fett? Because I feel like he would be able to handle the action and the fighting.
Oh, like, yeah, I think he
That
would give
be
us.
nice.
Yeah, like Robert Rodriguez could give us a very action-oriented episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Or
one was
hell, just give us the Star Wars equivalent of Spy Kids.
Or Machete.
Yeah, and I'm not sure which one, like, Dave Filoni is directing, and then I'm not sure which one, what is Bryce Dallas Howard returning, Ron Howard's daughter returning to direct an episode, and same with Deborah Chow.
I definitely know with Howard, and I think with Chow, but I'm not positive.
I hope Deborah Chow is back. Her episode was amazing. Like, it was very well done in all aspects.
Yeah, I will say this, going back to this episode, it was nice to see those spiders in live action.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Coming full circle, because, the Ralph McQuarrie concept art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And plus, we got watching the scene, I immediately thought of Chamber of Secrets.
Oh, yeah.
The spiders chasing our main characters and, getting into the vehicle and all that, so...
I wonder if that inspired him.
I have a question, because, I know those spiders appeared somewhere in Legends. I cannot remember where.
Was it Knights of the Old Republic?
Wait, what?
I know they showed up in Junior Jedi Knights. I can't think of anywhere else. I haven't looked too much into it, but I definitely know Junior Jedi Knights.
And then in Rebels, we got some spiders as well.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to bring up. Is it those same spiders?
Oh, yeah, those are the same spiders.
Okay, that's interesting. And they're across different planets.
Yeah, I did get a lot of Rebels vibes from it.
I mean, it makes sense because, Rebels use the McQuarrie concept art as a basis for their design, so it makes sense for them to use those creatures.
And then you said in Junior Jedi Knights, like something similar appears.
Yeah, they showed up in the 5th book on Dagobah.
And I think that's where the McQuarrie concept art was as well for Dagobah, because I saw someone like Phil Sostak, however you pronounce it, tweeted it out, or someone at Lucasfilm, or someone on Twitter tweeted it out.
Yeah, I think I saw it.
Yeah, so that's probably what the Junior Jedi Knights writer got probably the inspiration from, was that McQuarrie art.
For sure.
Yeah, and so that's probably as what, from that book. So, yeah, and what did you guys think about going to the cantina again?
It was fun.
It's something, the lady in the hangar was playing Sabak in the area where Han and Greedo had their shootout. Would you? Yeah, I mean, it did feel like you did get the vibes that they had that shootout in A New Hope. So it was nice
you
to
also see the burn mark too.
Oh yeah, and I did. Yeah, that was something. And then you have in the concept art and the credits they put in the end of the credits as well. That's another one. And then that's the thing, because I feel like I think that's what I've been saying. I think some people say it was filler, but I think it was more like a step up. Yeah, I felt like it was more like, as I said earlier, treat it like you're watching a movie. The next episode, I think it will go more to the main plot.
So I was talking with a few of my friends about this, and one of them brought up this point. You know how in this episode we see Baby Yoda eating like a lot?
Oh yeah, when he
So
what he
my friend theorizes, and I'm sure many other people have thought of this too, he's rapidly growing.
hmm.
So
Interesting.
at some point soon, we would probably, or in the upcoming years, we would see him reach a more mature age, and finally, he'd just be mature, and be old enough to start talking and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That could be
that's the thing.
interesting.
I wonder if he'll become like one of Luke's students with Ben Solo.
I think he's going to be too young at that point. Like,
Like he'll be
way
a
too young.
yeah, because I'm not sure. Like
Well, I
because
mean,
we
if you
don't.
rem-
Go ahead, Hanson.
I was just gonna say, if you remember the original trilogy with Yoda, he says like, "Oh, for 800 years I've been training Jedi," and then he dies at like 900.
Hmm.
So Baby Yoda should hit some maturity level at some point and be old enough to start getting trained by the time we get to the time of the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, because I think with the High Republic, we're gonna see Yoda more in his prime.
Mm.
Yeah,
Six or
because
700 at that point. Because by the time we get to the sequel trilogy, he would be like 80 years old.
true. Because
So
what
he
it
would
was
definitely
in
be
the
old enough to be trained at that point.
and also in like I remember they established in the first ever episode he's like 50 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it does prove like his species age is different. So we have that. That's another thing. So his species is pretty common because I wonder if we'll ever learn the real name of Baby Yoda.
So that's going to be the interesting thing. How much of Yoda's species are we actually going to learn
Yeah,
from this?
because
Because
I
Lucas
remember.
was always very hush hush, don't say anything about this sort of thing when it came to Yoda's species.
Yeah, because I even know when, like, one of the instructions George Lucas gave to like EU writers, and he probably informed it to the people like keeping track of the EU, because like Leland Chi and all them were kind of like the story group back then. He probably even gave them the restriction writers cannot talk about Yoda's story.
I will say this. I would love to get that information.
Yeah.
I know some people like the mystery, but I say, hey, if we can get a good story out of it, I say let's get that information.
No, for sure. I agree
That's
100%.
probably the bit where you need to have George Lucas to come back.
If
You don't
he's even
need him
thought of
to
anything
come
for
back.
that, or even want to think of that.
Like you have to have him consult with a writer about it for Yoda's species.
No, for sure. Like, consulting would work, but like to bring him back to write.
Yeah, maybe because I don't think he wants to be, in the spotlight due to all the hate he got, which forced him to sell. So I think he could coordinate more because with the Clone Wars, with his involvement, he was always in the story meetings and always given the guidelines and all that, and was the executive producer.
Just have him be a creative consultant.
Yeah, like because was that like the original plan when he sold the company?
Well, from thinking back to that old video, it said something along the lines of, "Oh, if they need me, they'll come to me."
Yeah.
With the idea, he sold Lucasfilm and Star Wars with the assumption that they would come to him for ideas and stuff. Hell, Kathleen Kennedy even said he'd be the keeper of the flame. I think she was the one who said that. Anyways, so yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Point is,
thing.
I think we should because, he's, as we've seen throughout the history of Star Wars, he has amazing ideas, so utilize that.
Yeah, because I remember in the Charlie Rose interview, he says they weren't that keen to have me involved, and they said, "Oh, I'm going to cause trouble" or something in the Charlie Rose interview when he kind of said how he didn't like how Force Awakens was too retro. And then he was on the set for Solo, and then he was even on the set for Mandalorian, and then I think he met with J.J. Abrams in the early process for Rise of Skywalker. So those were the key things he was there for, off the top of my head.
So for final thoughts on the episode, overall, it was fun. It was a good episode, but it really shows you that it's a long journey for the Mandalorian, and eventually we're gonna see where he gets to Baby Yoda. We potentially find out his species. we might see more Mandalorians. Right now, we're in a transition period, and next episode, maybe the one after, we're going to be hit hard with something that's going to pay off these first couple episodes. So I'm waiting to be patient before I fully judge this season, but so far I'm good with it. Like I'm not gonna complain for now.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm gonna be a bit more patient, and that's how I'm treating it like that bit in a movie where it's like where our characters are kind of at a down point. Let's say, I don't know, you crash somewhere, you're stranded somewhere, like in those kind of movies, you know? I mean, it can happen in Star Wars as well. Think of it like that scenario is the best way to treat this episode, and I think the next one and the one after that could be, as you said, the bigger payoff. I mean, I would agree with that.
And Henson, what are your final thoughts?
So overall, I liked it. Though this episode has really taught me that this series, I should stop expecting this series to be what I want it to be. Sold on the idea that we're gonna see what the galaxy is like post Jedi, see what the effects of the Empire being destroyed, what that's done to the galaxy, see the seedy underbelly, get to see Mandalorian culture. I'm just gonna take each episode as it comes, just to have the same mindset as my friend Donnie. Just have a fun time each week and stop expecting what you want to happen, because as we've seen, it's probably gonna have to be patient on that.
Yeah. This show's going to for sure require a lot of patience.
I think that's what it is. Because I think with all these big reveals that could potentially happen, we have to be patient. Like if the Ahsoka and Sabine rumor is true, like we'll have to be patient with that. Because that could be a big reveal. And then if Boba Fett appears more, we'll have to be patient with that.
Just have a fun time each week. Don't expect like a continuation. Or like, getting to see Boba Fett throughout the season. Just take each episode as it comes and just have a good time.
That's a good way to put it.
What are the expectations for each episode? Is every episode supposed to be overloaded with mic drops and like big reveals, or what? Because like as I'm thinking about it more, especially how we bring up the whole patience thing, it's like I can understand that not every episode has to have a giant reveal, like something so earth shattering that's going to make the collective sort of fandom scream. But at the same time, is a transition period like this, like should it be this low, or should we have had something like a tease?
My thing is, as much as I enjoy seeing Mando and Baby Yoda meander about, we finally got the return of Boba Fett post Jedi. In my honest opinion, I'm much more interested in seeing that story than Mando and Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
But of course, we're not going to get much focus on that. So, and that's the reason I was disappointed the first time watching this episode. I want that continuation because we've waited since the Aftermath trilogy in 2015 to finally get a continuation on that.
Yeah, I think, as I said, I think it will work. I think we'll have our patience for it with these big reveals. As Wedge said, not every episode has to be like a earth-shattering big reveal. It doesn't have to be like an Empire Strikes Back type of plot twist kind of thing, Yeah,
or a Boba Fett reveal.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You don't have to have these big reveals. I'm sure they'll come. I think they'll eventually come. We just have to be patient, wait and see. As I said, with Ahsoka and Sabine and Bo-Katan, we'll have to wait and see if those happen. I mean, with the Boba Fett rumor being true, I'm feeling confident those are going to happen. Like, I kind of have a good feeling Bo-Katan's going to appear because of the Darksaber. With the Boba Fett rumor, it kind of boosts my confidence more that Ahsoka and Sabine will make an appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could possibly be an indication we might get the Rebels sequel show sometime down the line. Anything else, guys?
I'm good overall. Just like I cannot wait where the series goes. I really want to see how Mando's journey plays out because I think this is going to be one of the more interesting quests / journeys we're going to see like for the series overall.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where everything goes, and I think it could be exciting and all that. And I think there's lots of potential they can do. That's the thing.
I just hope they deliver.
Yeah, I'm
I think
just
they will.
excited. Yeah, I have a good feeling they will. I think there's a lot of good potential.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to our season 2, episode 10 review. So we'll see you next week for chapter 11. So Wedge Antilles signing off.
Jedi Master Daniel 96 signing off.
Captain Henson signing off.
See you guys next week.